So this is the Lotto logo, or the Lotto writing that goes along with the logo. And it's based on a grid to set up the letters, but also our 45-degree angle. So you'll notice all these sloped lines here. If you put up your set square to them, you'll see that they're 45. So again, we're using this small set square. Now our length here is 290, but I'm not really going to worry about the 290. I'm going to start marking out these distances. The only thing to be aware of is, I don't know what the distance is exactly between here and here is, but it could be tight enough if you're not careful. So I've given a starting point here in order for it to fit. So that's basically what this mark here is for. So we're going to draw that line lightly across, and we'll bring a line up. So we can see here that it's 70 millimeters high. So we come up 70, and again we'll just draw this slightly across. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, I'm going to start marking out the distance. So I have 20, and then I have 10. And it's up to yourself whether you want to move along each time and mark it, or if you want to add them up. Adding them up is a little bit more accurate, but it depends what you find easy. It's more important that we don't make a mistake, I suppose, than we get everything correct. And I suppose, just looking at it here, be careful here, there's an awful lot of 20s in a row. Okay, so it's very easy to forget one. So I have 20, 10 and 20, I have 50, and I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal marks. So I have 1, 2, 3 done, so I need another 3 20 marks. Okay, so I did 20, 40, 60. Then I have 50, and then I have 20. So if I'm right, I should come over to it nearly, fairly close to the end of the page. I just realised I'm a bit low down there. Let me just see. I might zoom in a small bit. Okay. All right. So if you want to check yourself, you should be around 25 mil away from the end of the page or thereabouts. So I have my point. So again, just double check. 20, 10, 20. Then done. 50, 20, 20, 20, 20. So I should have 6 of these little ones very close together. Then a 50 and then a 20. So I'm quite happy with that. So I'll bring up this line here to meet it. And what I've constructed there is basically a box in which to fit the Lotto logo into, and I have my grids here, so I can, or my lines for setting up. So what I could do is I could bring all these lightly up at this stage. No harm. Okay, so again, they're not heavy lines yet, we're just going to do them lightly. Okay, so make sure your T-square is in tight. Make sure your set square is sitting on it. The T-square, there's no gaps here, so that it works out even. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my 20 and 30 mark here like so. Okay, so we now draw these lines lightly across. So quite happy there with my setup. Okay, so I'm now going to start on each letter at a time. So if I look at the L, we can see that we have my slope here and we have this bit here. So we have the 30 here first for the L. So I'm going to bring that across like so. And I'm going to heavy that in, and I know I come up to the 50 mil line here. Now if this is confusing you a bit, which I find with this question, sometimes it confuses students, what's handy is to draw a light line across like so. Okay, and if you draw that light line across, it just makes it easy to see exactly where things are lining up. Okay, so you can see here, this one here should have come up to the 50 mil mark, and it should have come across to there, and then it's going to go up at an angle. Now there's 2 ways you could do it. The first way you could do it is you could twist your set square, and you could just join that point to that point. Okay, and depending on your accuracy, that may be what you have to do. The other option is that should actually be 45 degrees, so you should be able to put your 45-degree set square there. So if I bring this across to here, the L, this bit, again, what I could do here, just to check which one it lines up with if I'm not sure, is bring down the lines here. And I can see actually here there's a small problem in that I don't automatically have this bit here, but we'll look at how to get that in a second. So I have my L there, and I'm happy with that, so I have it heavy there. So I'm now going to start with my O. So I'm going to start here, and then it comes across to the 50 mil mark, and then as I said, you can twist around our 45-degree set square and draw these lines, or alternatively we can draw it up like this. I'm just going to bring this up like here, and that's as much. I could heavy this bit here. Okay, now I'm in a bit of a dilemma in that I don't have this point here. Now you could say, well, it must be 20 because that's 20, which it is actually one way of doing it. The other way you could say, well, right, if I draw up a 45-degree line, that will give me the point, that will give me that point at which I can bring it down. Okay, so I've drawn up a 45-degree line. I can now bring this bit down. And I now have the middle of the, oh, that actually goes up the full way like so. Okay, and this comes across, and this comes across. There's my O. So we continue on with the T. So with the T again, you can twist these around, or you can balance your sets and make it 45. This goes across like so, one square. And actually, if you look at it when you draw it in, it actually looks more like a number 1. Okay, so it's just because it's joined together that it actually looks like a T. If you actually look at it when it's finished, it actually looks like a number 1. Okay, so sorry, I'm just trying to get both views in. The next one, again, if you look at just the shape on its own, and again, you probably have never looked at it before, it looks like an L. Okay, I'm not sure if this is still the exact same version of this logo that they use. Okay, and again, we just carefully check the symbol there and we mark it in. And then the last bit is it comes over. Sorry, my T-square just fell. It comes over, and this bit here goes right to the very end. Okay, so I have the same issue here in that I have this line here, but I don't have a distance for it. So again, it's 45 degrees. So again, once that's balanced on that, we'll bring this up. This goes down to here. This comes across to here. This goes up at my 45. This is brought straight up. This line here I have, and this line here now can be brought down from here. And that's brought over to meet that. And that's brought over to meet that. Okay, and that's the question completed. Okay, so the only thing then that I want to do is I want to do a little bit of shading. So again, a nice light yellow. Yellow is always a good colour for shading because it allows the examiner to see the construction line. So my lines that are pink shouldn't be rubbed out on your page. This should just be shaded lightly over so that you can still see them. So we don't want a dark colour when the examiner wouldn't be able to see them at the end. Okay, so mine is very, very quick. You could spend a little bit more time on it. Main thing there is just to spend your time and not go outside the lines. It's not a colouring exercise, so what we're doing is we're making sure that we don't spend too long heavy in. We're using the pencil sort of on its edge. And you can see there's a little bit of colour to it. Okay, so that's the question completed.